Rivalry week has hit Boone, North Carolina. They call it Deeper Than Hate Week. Georgia Southern and App State, these two programs combined for 9 FCS national championships, and now they battle in the Sun Belt. The Mountaineers, they are back at home after an incredible week last week, if you're an App State fan. What did they do? Well, they went on the road to number 18, JMU. James Madison undefeated. Joey Aguilar hits Caden Robinson in overtime for the game-winning touchdown. They spoil the game day party and beat a ranked opponent and upset JMU's perfect season. Now they're back at home, and it's time for a little rivalry time. Not only that, this game really important when it comes to the Sun Belt East standings. App State has won their last 4 games. If they win today, and also Coastal Carolina loses, then App State will take on Troy in the Sun Belt Championship next week. Welcome to The Rock. Courtney Lau alongside former Georgia quarterback Hudson Mason. And wow, what a week it's been for App State. For the 3rd straight season, they have beaten a ranked opponent. Now they host their rival with the Sun Belt East on the line.
Yeah, rivalry week is all about emotion, right? And how do you handle emotion? Can you play with emotion? And that speaks to exactly where App State is coming off of that big win. Both coaches for both teams this week told us this is their Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
So that puts it into perspective. And for Sean Clark and his team of App State, they'll walk off the field tonight in about 3.5 hours knowing if they're going to be playing in the Sun Belt Championship game or not.
Wow, pretty impressive. This game should be entertaining too. The series history between these two, take a look at it. And remember, last year's game, not just one overtime, double overtime to decide it. Bowl eligibility for both teams was on the line last year. Georgia Southern won that match, that game in double overtime. So App State looking for a little revenge as they are back at home at the Rock. The Mountaineers come into this game. They have won 4 games in a row. Remember, they were 3-4 at one point in the season. And they're doing all this, Hudson, with technically a backup quarterback in Joey Aguilar, who's now 5th in the nation in touchdown passes.
And you say backup quarterback. He literally did not start the year as the starter, but comes in after an injury and has just taken off in this offense. 29 total passing touchdowns, which is top 5 for all quarterbacks in college football. He's coming off a game last week against a top 25 defense in James Madison where he threw for over 300 yards. And he has a lot of good weapons at his disposal. 11 different receivers had a catch last week for App State.
They told us Joey Aguilar is cool, calm, and collected all the time. His biggest strength is he never gets too high or too low. He can move on to the next play, and he says that has allowed this team to feel like they are in every single game, no matter what. Meanwhile, for Georgia Southern, they have lost their last 3 games, but they're led at quarterback by a Tulsa transfer in Davis Bren, who they have a lot of confidence in, and he's growing every week.
Yeah, they should have a lot of confidence. I mean, he's leading an offense that's averaging over 300 yards per game. It's a #1 passing offense in the Sun Belt. He is a true gunslinger. The question for me and the intriguing part of this matchup has been turnovers. He's taking care of the football much better than he was in the first half of the season. His last 2 games, 0 turnovers, and I think what bodes well for him today in this matchup is he's a guy that gets rid of the ball quickly. This front 4 for App State, 5 sacks and 21 quarterback hits last week against James Madison.
Clay Helton is in his 2nd season leading Georgia Southern, so this is only his 2nd experience with this rivalry. He got everything he wanted last year in that double overtime victory for Southern. Meanwhile, on the other sideline, App State is led by an alumni in Sean Clark. He told us, my freshman year, my first time playing Georgia Southern, I remember walking out, the crowd just felt different. Every hit felt different. He said it's an amazing rivalry, one of the best in college football.
A guy who has played in this rivalry, coached in this rivalry a long time. And as he told us this week, this is our Iron Bowl. This is our Georgia, Florida. And when you hear that from a coach, it puts it into perspective how much it means.
They're expecting a sold-out crowd at the Rock. App State wins the coin toss. They defer to the second half, so it'll be Georgia Southern starting this game on offense. Michael Hughes to kick this off for App State. DeAndre Buchanan is back for Georgia Southern, and deeper than hate week, all about this right here, this game. App State, a win and a Coastal loss puts them in the Sun Belt East title and into that championship game against Troy next week. Boots it into the end zone, so Georgia Southern will come out and start on its own 25-yard line. Now, we mentioned Davis Bren. He is going to be without Jalen White, his top running back today. So how does that change things for him?
Well, it puts more pressure and onus on him, and they don't mind doing that. I mean, he's leading the conference in over 300 yards passing, so that's how they move the football. But they are, at times, going to have to be able to run the football. And without Jalen White, their leading rusher, that's a huge absence for this rushing attack for Georgia Southern.
So O.J. Arnold is out there, number 22 in white. He's the back. Caleb Hood goes in motion, their top target. Bren off of play action over the top and batted down Ronald Clark. He was looking for J.J. McAfee, who was a game-time decision, but he looks good to go.
Yeah, they love using some play action. RPO, they'll mix that in. And this time, those linebackers and safeties, Ronald Clark, right there in the hip pocket of McAfee to get his hand on it.
Second and 10. Quick out to Caleb Hood. They toss it over to O.J. Arnold. Little trick works. Arnold's got the far sideline inside the 40 into enemy territory to the 37-yard line before Caden Sullivan forced him out.
Well, a quick pass and then a kind of a flicker. Watch the DB for App State, number 2 right here, Tyreek Funderburk. He reads it, he gets up there, he's in the perfect position and just can't make the tackle. And it leads to a huge explosive play in the pass game.
That is a 39-yard pickup. They said they had to have explosives today. That was a key as the pass complete to Dalen Cobb, and they've got another one.
And now you start to feel this tempo that Clay Helton has traditionally played with and wants to play with. He played with it at Memphis, USC when he was the head coach.
Officials timeout. Officials timeout to repair the chains.
They go so fast, the chain gang can't even keep up.
First drive, you think you can ease into it, but no.
How about that play call from Brian Ellis, though, offensive coordinator right there. He told us this week that he thought last week in the loss to Old Dominion that he kind of called the game too conservatively and kind of challenged himself this week to call it to win it. How about that for a second play? Watch this DB right there. Great read and reaction by Tyreek Funderburk, number 2 for App State. He's got the chance to make the play and just isn't able to bring the running back down. That leads to a huge explosive play by O.J. Arnold.
It's back-to-back, so a 39-yard pickup and then a 25-yard pickup. Takes him to the 11. Here's Arnold dancing his way around looking for the hole. He's inside the 10. They'll mark him at the 7-yard line. Michael Fletcher with the stop. Georgia Southern trying to shake out of this 3-game losing streak. Their last win was over another rival, Georgia State. Bren, pocket collapsing, rolls his way out of it inside the 5 to the 3.
Well, this front 4 for App State, which had 5 sacks last week and does cause a lot of havoc. I thought for a second here that they had Bren to the ground, but he is slippery athletic. He's not a guy, Bren is not a guy that's going to beat you just running with his legs. But if you don't have some integrity in which the way that you rush the quarterback, and more importantly, when you get your hands on him, you got to bring him down. He can get out of it and keep plays alive. The red zone offense has been a huge part of this offense that's been good to them for Georgia Southern so far this year, averaging 31 points per game, 3rd in the Sun Belt.
O.J. Arnold got room into the end zone on the first drive. Georgia Southern on the board.
Well, big talk coming in about who's going to be able to replace Jalen White, the leading rusher for Georgia Southern. And on that first drive, it was all O.J. Arnold. You had the screen pass that led to a big play on the second play of the game. And here he finds a crease to the left side and punches it in. How about that opening drive for the Eagles?
Already 46 yards on the ground for O.J. Arnold. His season high is 90 rushing yards against Ball State. So he's well on his way, as he will be that featured back today for Southern. PAT is up and good from Michael Lance. That's how you start a rivalry game on the road, right?
How will that start? Second play goes for 40 yards, and they say, O.J. Arnold, we're going to give it back to you. It puts the Eagles on the board first.
O.J. Arnold with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, a 6-play drive. And that's a key that Brian Ellis, their offensive coordinator, talked to us about. One of the keys for this game, they have got to get explosive plays, and they had 2 on that drive.
Yeah, and how about O.J. Arnold, too? The way last week kind of unfolded for him. He had a fumble early in the game last week against Old Dominion and really didn't get back in the game after that. And so for him to kind of get a touch, 2 big touches, one that it results in a touchdown, has got to be great for his confidence.
So now App State gets the chance to respond, and they're confident in the group that they have to do it. Joey Aguilar, 5th in the nation in touchdown passes after starting the season as the backup.
He's got a big, strong arm, and he believes in it. And that's usually a good thing, and it has been a good thing for this offense this year. 29 touchdown passes, which puts him up there with the Drake Mays and the Caleb Williams of the world. That's pretty good company to be in as a quarterback in college football.
Yeah, not bad names to be around. Kanye Roberts gets the handoff. You see him start this game. Nate Noel, we are told, is available, their leading running back, but it's kind of an emergency use only situation.
Yeah, much like Georgia Southern, how they're going to be without their leading rusher, Jalen White. App State today, not for sure how much Nate Noel is going to be a part of this game plan. Available, but they don't know how really they're going to use him. So that puts more onus, just like Georgia Southern, on the quarterback in the right arm of Joey Aguilar.
Pistol look again on 2nd and 10. They fake it to Roberts this time. Over the top of the play action off the hands of Caden Robinson, who caught the touchdown in overtime to beat JMU last week.
App State loves using hard play action, and the tough thing for these linebackers is to kind of decipher, is it run or is it pass? And this time a really nice job of the secondary, and Bartholomew specifically staying right there, getting a hand up on the pass. It's a big emphasis in this game, is if your eyes are supposed to be on your receiver, if you're a DB or safety, do not get caught looking in the backfield against this play action attack for App State.
Now 3rd and 10. App State 6th in the conference on 3rd down conversions. They dump it off, and it's to Kanye Roberts. He's got it to the 38-yard line. That'll move the chains.
Boy, what a veteran decision by Joey Aguilar, right? Nothing's open, but these linebackers for Georgia Southern drop a little too deep into coverage, and they forget to cover the running back out of the backfield. That's 3rd down and 10, where the quarterback hits a check down, and it turns into a 1st down.
And that's an area he's improved, right? He's more confident in those check downs, okay to take it and not just look for the home run shot. Aguilar rolling out, pressure in his face. And the ball comes out. Miller Gibbs was the target, one of the tight ends, and he's slow to get up as Kadri Jackson lays a pretty good hit on him.
A little bootleg action, and Georgia Southern defensive line does a good job of not biting on it. Davion Rhodes, number 91, right there in the face of Aguilar, makes the throw difficult. Thought Gibbs came down with it. The ball ground kind of knocks it out at the last second.
And he was slow to get up too. He's off on the App State sideline, back to Roberts. Forward progress will give him a pickup of 2 to the 40-yard line. Marquez Watson Trent, he's their leading tackler.
And they got to have big production out of their inside linebackers today. Watson Trent, Kadri Jackson. I think they've heard the noise about the weak link of this defense being the 2 inside linebackers, and I think they're eager and ready to respond to that challenge and shut up a lot of people. And what a good opportunity they'll have it against a team that loves to run right downhill into the teeth of the inside linebackers.
A defensive note too for Southern, they will not have Isaac Walker, one of their defensive ends. Creates the most havoc on this defense for Southern. That pass incomplete. Shamar Bartholomew again.
Yeah, Bartholomew, 2 plays on that drive right there, playing good, great man-to-man coverage. You see so many DBs in tight man-to-man get really handsy. That's where they get in trouble, and the PI flag gets thrown. But 2 times on that drive, Bartholomew right there playing great technique, forcing hard throws on Aguilar.
Well, both of Georgia Southern's main corners, they're 6th-year guys. They're so experienced, and that was a matchup that Frank Ponce, the offensive coordinator for App State, said we have got to win the one-on-ones. Did not do it on that drive, and App State forced to punt. Rolls around to the 27-yard line. So no response from the Mountaineers. Georgia Southern on top on the road.
Well, the opening drive for the Georgia Southern Eagles, 6 plays, 75 yards, but it was explosive plays. That was the theme. This is the second play of the game. A little trickery. Toss back to the running back, O.J. Arnold. And then Davis Brin finding his receiver over the middle. Gets the ball in the red zone, uses his lower half to get out of a sack. And then O.J. Arnold again caps it off on the 6th play for a touchdown. 64 of the 75 yards on that opening drive for Georgia Southern came on 2 plays.
They averaged 12.5 yards per play on that drive. Brian Ellis, in his 2nd season as the offensive coordinator at Georgia Southern, he said we would love 6 to 7 play drives, less time for mistakes when you don't get into 10, 12 play drives. Brin's going to pull it and keep. Nowhere to go. A loss of a yard on the play as he's dropped by Caden Sullivan.
That's not really Davis's Brin's game, and not really what this offense has done this year. But will be interesting without Jalen White. How do they kind of manufacture those yards in the run game?
J.J. McAfee turns back behind him to catch this football. Got the first down to the 44.
Well, you can see these linebackers for App State a little bit confused. Right after this play, they're kind of all looking around to each other like, whose guy is that? And more importantly, whose zone and zone coverage is that? These safeties and linebackers have got to get on the same page, because right now, Davis Brin is having a lot of success kind of attacking the middle part of the field in between the hashes.
McAfee goes in motion. It's O.J. Arnold again. Arnold to the 48-yard line, still on the Southern side of the field before Andrew Parker, App State's leading tackler, takes him down. Arnold had 44 receiving yards on that opening drive. Second down at midfield, and flags come out. Ted Pitts is our referee today.
False start, offense, number 60. That's a 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That was on Rasheed Miller, the right tackle.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get offsides for Nate Johnson, the freshman for App State. I thought he actually kind of crossed the neutral zone, and then Rasheed Miller reacted to that, but I guess not.
This offensive line for Georgia Southern, they have started every game. That's one of 10 programs in FBS that could say that about their offensive line this season. McAfee in motion. Brin off play action, looking for Caleb Hood. And it was touched by E.J. Jackson, who has moved to that star position as App State has changed their defense.
Yeah, this should have been an interception. I mean, E.J. Jackson is all over. This is double covered. Brin should not be throwing this into double coverage. And E.J. Jackson, who moved from that safety position to that nickel Sam slot corner position, like you said, Courtney, has really found a home and is playing it really nicely.
And they made that defensive change 4 games ago, and guess what? They've won 4 games in a row. Put more speed on the field with the shift to the star package. Brin letting it fly right into the hands of App State. Tyreek Thunderberg, his 3rd interception of the season.
Well, Scott Sloan decides to bring pressure.
On the field.
Brin 6 guys in the blitz.
Intercepted. First down.
And it kind of gets Brin with a little bit of happy feet. And we talked about it earlier, the decision-making. This ball with a safety over the top and underneath coverage by Thunderberg. Again, that's the 2nd play in a row where he's kind of thrown that into double coverage. And this time, it's costly.
That's 14 interceptions on the season for Davis Brin. And Funderburk, remember, this is a guy, he's one of 7 in the nation with 2 pick sixes on the season. He did it in back-to-back games against Wyoming and then Monroe. So now App State, second time they've had the ball on offense.
A turnover, such an interesting storyline for this Georgia Southern team, because offensively they have lost a lot of turnovers. They're one of the worst. They've turned it over a lot. Davis Brin now 14 interceptions on the year, but then their defense is one of the best at getting the ball back for their offense. They're top 15 in the country, so it really has come down to how many turnovers can this defense for Georgia Southern get. When they've gotten 3 or more, they're 6-0 this year.
Yeah, and when they don't, they're 0-5. Down the middle of the field, wide open. Caden Robinson made it an easy decision for Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, the UCF transfer lines up out wide. And again, the middle of the field, because of the play action, is completely wide open.
To the 37. Play action again. Heaving it up in the air. And the flag comes in. He was looking for Christian Horn. Shamar Bartholomew in coverage and maybe in trouble.
I think we're going to get an offensive pass interference.
Defense.
Oh, they called it the defense.
That's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
That's on Shamar Bartholomew. We were singing his praises earlier, a 6th-year guy.
I thought Christian Horn might have gotten called with a yank right here at the very end for pulling Bartholomew down. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see him drag Bartholomew to the ground.
But Bartholomew also has his right hand wrapped around.
Yeah, the contact a little earlier in that play.
They snapped it to Rogers, actually. Faked the reverse, and then they get it to their tight end, Eli Wilson. You know, going back to the previous play, Christian Horn, he's a captain, a guy they were excited to get back because he is a veteran, and they wanted his experience against the veteran corners of Georgia Southern.
Yeah, Georgia Southern has really long, big corners. Both of them, Bartholomew and Hickman, is 6 foot, 6'1". They're big, they're long. I mean, they really are the size, prototypical size that NFL scouts are looking for at the next level. Should make for just an interesting, fun matchup to follow, and a lot of one-on-one opportunities today between these corners and receivers.
2nd and 1. Kanye Roberts cutting back inside. Will move the chains right to the 5-yard line he goes before he's dropped by John Ferguson.
Look at the right side of this offensive line for App State. You get your left guard, Daly, pull in, gets his eyes in the right place, and the way this running game kind of marries up with the type of running backs they have, it's been just a perfect fit for Frank Ponce, the offensive coordinator.
App State subs, so Georgia Southern just ran a bunch of new guys on the field. And Aguilar goes under center, and he trips trying to drop back. It's interesting, we talked to Frank Ponce about, we don't see quarterbacks going under center very much.
Aguilar just his right guard, Bucky Williams, steps on his foot as he's kind of, pulling out at the last second. He spent, what, 15 minutes talking about this with Frank. How many times you spend a production meeting talking with a coach about just being under center, but nobody really does it anymore in college football.
These days you don't, yeah. It's something that they do rep every day.
Yeah. A little friendly fire.
2nd and goal, that backs them up to the 8. And they'll move back out to the pistol. Wilson motions over next to Aguilar. Roberts. Marked at the 3.
Boy, this offensive line and really the interior part of this offensive line is the best part for Sean Clark. He's an O-line guy himself, head coach. They take on his personality. I think you can just feel their attitude and their presence even more in the red zone, because they get down here, they believe it's in their DNA to run the football.
Well, they're 2nd in the conference in red zone scoring, 26th in the nation, and this is an offensive line that lost both tackles to the NFL. They'll fake it to Roberts and pitch it out to Milan Tucker. Georgia Southern ready. back to the 7.
Interesting play call here, Courtney, because I thought that this was going to be a run up the middle, especially the way the offensive line had been kind of mauling the front 4 for Georgia Southern. I mean, the last 2 run plays, they had a lot of success getting the yardage down here inside the 5-yard line, and that time, instead of kind of going back to the same thing, they run a little trickery, and Georgia Southern's all over it.
So this will be a 24-yard field goal attempt for Michael Hughes. And it's up and good. App State has its first points, but Georgia Southern still hanging on to that lead. So after the interception, App State goes 7 plays, 57 yards, but they only come up with a field goal. A couple of interesting plays. You had the under center trip, and then the run out, the
reverse.
Yeah, the reverse out to Milan Tucker.
You got to, if you're Georgia Southern, you got to count that as a win. And when you come into a game as a pretty large underdog, moments like that at the end of the game, you can look back to and can sway the outcome of a game.
And this kickoff goes out of bounds, so there's a penalty.
Kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, first down.
Well, rivalry weekend rolls on tonight on ESPN. Number 5, Florida State. So sad to see Jordan Travis go down. He's out. They're already in the ACC championship game. They're going to face Florida, who's also without the Gators starting quarterback, Graham Mertz, at 7 Eastern. Then on ABC, number 1, Georgia. Already going to that SEC championship game. They square off against Georgia Tech for the 115th time on ABC at 7:30.
Florida has a chance to kind of create the first moment of kind of chaos in the college football playoff. Since week 9, all 8 teams have been in the same position, so there really hasn't been much change to it.
It's a low pass to Derwin Burgess, but he goes down and gets it. Picks up 5 on the play. Stopped at the 40 by Ethan Johnson. What do you make so far of this Georgia Southern offense? I think they've looked pretty comfortable.
Yeah, they came out with a bang and really delivered the first punch to this App State defense on the opening drive, going down and scoring a touchdown. But then App State decides to bring pressure more on the second drive, and I think that's where Davis Brin looks here early on the most uncomfortable. Watch for Scott Sloan, the defensive coordinator, to continue bringing pressure.
Something they did so well last week, facing Jordan McLeod and JMU, as O.J. Arnold gets the carry.
Looks like any quarterback, right? I mean, I'm a former quarterback myself. No quarterback likes to get hit.
Yeah.
No quarterback likes to feel pressure. And it's like Scott Sloan told us, you know, the best pass defense is affecting the quarterback. And this front 4 for App State, boy, they got after James Madison's quarterback last week. 5 sacks, 21 quarterback hits.
And came out with a win in overtime. Oh, nice hole for O.J. Arnold. He spun around across midfield to the 47-yard line.
Yeah, I like this design by Brian Ellis. Right, there's some eye candy with this jet sweep motion that puts these 2 inside linebackers in conflict. And so there's just a lot going on pre-snap. And they turn around and hand it to O.J. Arnold, not at running back, at fullback on that play.
I've seen 2 things we don't see a lot: a quarterback under center and a fullback.
Yeah. I don't even know I thought a fullback was extinct in college football.
They'll toss it out to O.J. Arnold. To the 40.
Well, it's clear here in the first 3 drives, Brian Ellis is really putting the ball in the hand of O.J. Arnold to replace Jalen White. And I think that's the key for today. Georgia Southern is not a team that's a great rushing team. They haven't been that all year. But to win today and pull off the upset, they got to be able to run it in critical moments.
They'll spread everybody out here. Pass is caught for the first down. Back to J.J. McAfee.
And it's like Clay Helton told us, everywhere that he's been, this offense that he's run, he ran it at USC, ran it at Memphis, has produced great passing offenses, puts up really gaudy numbers. But as he said, to win a championship, we need to have that balance in the run game.
Georgia Southern first in the conference, 13 in the nation in passing yards per game. Approaching 1 minute left here in the first quarter. Southern up 7-3. Caleb Hood. Hood with his second catch of the day. Southern needing 2 more yards to move the chains. They're at the 25. Out of the pistol, they'll pitch it back to O.J. Arnold, who's going to throw towards the near sideline. He was looking for Derwin Burgess, who is their leading touchdown receiver on the year.
Trying to catch Nick Ross right here in the secondary, sleeping. It's a really nice job of Ross staying alert. It's the same play that Georgia scored on Tennessee last week. I don't know if you remember. You're Tennessee.
I do remember it. Thanks, Hudson.
Yeah, that play looks familiar. I don't know if Brian Ellis was watching Georgia tape, but Georgia ran that last week against Tennessee, and it worked.
31 seconds left in the first quarter. This time, they'll let Davis Brin toss it up to Caleb Hood. And for the second time today, Georgia Southern is in the end zone, adding to their lead.
Well, Caleb Hood, the 50-year senior out of Atlanta, Georgia, runs right by Nick Ross this time. Just man-to-man coverage right here to the right of your screen. Watch him just run by Ross. And that is as easy of a pitch and catch as you will find in college football. Davis Brent played a lot. He's in his 6th year, so it is very hard to confuse this guy. He's seen a lot of different coverages. He identifies it there, man-to-man.
Excuse me, that pass was by J.C. French. J.C. French with his first career touchdown pass. My apologies. They snuck in the redshirt freshman, the transfer from Memphis.
I didn't catch it either. They truly snuck him in. We'll make sure we give credit to J.C. French, yeah. Coming off the bench cold. Not easy. Well, the redshirt freshman from Roswell, Georgia, in a rivalry game.
They've used him a lot this season, but mostly on the quarterback run game. And you see his teammates, how fired up they are for him. Spent 1 season at Memphis, did not play, and then transferred at the beginning of this year in January to Georgia Southern. So J.C. French now 12 for 13 on the year with that touchdown. Well, Sunday, December 3rd, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff selection. Reese and the guys will break them down from top to bottom. Who will make it in the top 4 spots? You can catch it all noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on ESPN and the app.
My favorite week in all of sports, rivalry weekend. You know, you get all this build-up kind of leads to this crescendo moment in college football. The next 2 weeks are as good as it gets.
So now 2 touchdowns on the board for Georgia Southern. App State's going to see if they can find their first touchdown. Anderson Castle gets the carry. This is a guy who was injured on the first play in their fall scrimmage, had to have surgery on his foot, and this is his 4th appearance on the year. They'll let the clock wind down, the end of the first quarter. Deeper than hate week is what they call it. And Georgia Southern feeling not so bad on the road at the Rock. They are up 14-3 after a quarter. Well, this game has Sun Belt Championship implications. Troy has already clinched the West, so they'll play in that championship game next week. But Appalachian State needs to win today, and they need Coastal Carolina to lose to James Madison, and they will represent the East. Right now, James Madison on top of Coastal, 7-0 in the first quarter. But App State's going to have some work to do here, Hudson. Yeah. They're down 14-3.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprising start so far to this game.
Pass was dropped by Dalton Stroman, and they're saying incomplete. He did not have possession. Shamar Bartholomew. How many times are we going to call his name today?
I'm going to know his first, middle, and last name. Maybe even his date of birth, social security, all that by the end of the day.
Spent 5 seasons at Northwestern State before transferring over to Georgia Southern. A 6th-year player out of Houston. 3rd and 4 from their own 31-yard line.
App State was 7 for 16 last week against James Madison on 3rd down.
They're 1 for 3 today. Aguilar gets rid of it quickly, and Milan Tucker turned around and the football was there. He was surprised how quickly it got to him.
Well, I'm going to show you some pressure that comes off the edge right here and brings one more in protection than App State can pick up. And that forces Aguilar to have to get the ball out so quick that his receiver isn't even out of his break. It's a great job of Brandon Bailey seeing the protection they're in and bringing one more that they have to pick up.
Mitchell Lake to punt. Caleb Hood is back. And he calls for the fair catch at the 30. Well, the F1 season finale is in Abu Dhabi tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN+. Grand Prix Sunday begins our pre-race coverage at 6:30. 3-time defending champ Max Verstappen, who clinched the driver title on October 7th. He tries to make it 4 in a row. The Vegas race was pretty wild last week. So Davis Brent and company back to work. It was J.C. French who came in and threw the touchdown pass to Caleb Hood to cap their last drive. And O.J. Arnold's a guy that's been beat up. You know, we didn't get to see him when they faced Georgia State. He was out for that game, but you've seen his playmaking ability. He can run the football. He's also a target out of the backfield.
I think any running back, like last week when he had a fumble early in the game against Old Dominion, he kind of got benched, right? And Ryan Ellis even told us it wasn't really done intentionally. He just kind of felt like he lost his confidence. Boy, he's gained it back pretty quickly here.
Picks up 1 on the carry to the 38-yard line before Santana Hopper takes him down. Hopper, one of the most strong, explosive guys on that D-line for App State. Southern 3 for 3 on 3rd down today. Bren keeps it. Trudging forward, and now 4 for 4.
Well, Brian Ellis put something on tape here that they haven't done a lot of, which is quarterback design run. But when you're missing your leading rusher, Jalen White, and you're trying to find ways to extend drives, that's the beauty of when you stay efficient, you stay ahead of the chains. When you're in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, you can use different plays and catch a defense kind of off guard because they don't run Davis Brent a whole lot.
Caleb Hood in motion. He will hand it off this time to Arnold, and App State was ready. Broderick Gooch and Santana Hopper hopped on. No gain on the play.
And this is a front 3. It's a 3-4 structure defense, meaning 3 down linemen. And Scott Sloan, the defensive coordinator right there, has done a great job. He's been at App State a couple times, was even the defense coordinator at Georgia Southern, so he knows what it's like from both sides of the rivalry, being a coach in this game quite a bit of times.
He recruited a lot of guys on Georgia Southern's current team as flags come in, but Scott Sloan was at Georgia Southern, the DC, from 2018 to 2021.
False start, offense, number 57. That's a 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's on the center, Chandler Strong.
Well, Scott Sloan has done a really good job of kind of putting this defense together, and it all starts with the defensive line. They move a lot, and especially in 2nd and long situations right here. He'll tell you he loves moving his defensive line. They stunt, they move. Very rarely are they stationary from when the ball snapped.
Brand over the top back to McAfee, who has been a favorite target today. But right back to the original line of scrimmage, puts them at the 42-yard line. 3rd and 9. Again, they're perfect on 3rd down, 4 for 4.
Yeah, 3rd down before was 3rd and 3. This time 3rd and 9. And Scott Sloan brings more of his DBs on the field for the matchup. Take linebackers off, put more DBs on the field now. He's in their nickel package, which means he's got 5 DBs, so he's expecting a pass.
Brand looking for somebody, goes to Derwin Burgess, in and out of his hands.
And you can see Brand patting Burgess on the head. He knows he just dropped it. I mean, it's a great job of buying time outside of the pocket by Davis Brand and Derwin Burgess, who's been so reliable. The junior that's played a lot of football. His coach has even told us he's like a 50-year-old in a 20-year-old body, so mature. He drops a big one right there to extend the drive.
Yeah, Derwin Burgess, number 2, and number 7, Caleb Hood, are their top 2 wide receiver targets. Alex Smith with the punt, and Caden Robinson calls for a fair catch at the 20. So we step aside. Georgia Southern on top of App State, 14-3. College football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One. The big one today was Michigan, Ohio State, and Michigan coming out on top 30-24.
Yeah, 3 years in a row now.
Yep.
For Michigan, and doing it without Jim Harbaugh. That was essentially what was really the first elimination game this year.
Right.
I don't see a path forward for the loser, Ohio State, to get back in. So Michigan wins what I consider the first playoff game of the college football season.
Anderson Castle hit immediately. Another big one on that rankings list too, Hudson, was Louisville losing to Kentucky, and Pete Thamel was saying today on College Game Day that Mark Stoops was being looked at now for the Texas A&M job, so that's big for his resume.
Yeah, certainly is. And the next 24 to 48 hours in the coaching cycle is going to be an interesting one, because you and I had A&M last week. We were there. I think there's going to be a lot of names thrown out for that job that maybe we didn't see coming.
Joey Aguilar over the top. He's had a lot of success going right down the middle of the field to Deshaun Davis now.
Well, Aguilar does a good job here of kind of keeping, watch his eyes right here. Momentarily looks to the left to hold that safety. That's what mature quarterbacks do. They use their eyes for some manipulation.
It's a 23-yard pickup. They'll swing it out to the flat to Caden Robinson. Steps out at the 45-yard line, gains 4 on the play. App State just 1 appearance in the red zone today, and they came away with a field goal. Oh, Aguilar, no time. All wrapped up. Deshaun Davis. Not a friendly hug.
No, never a friendly takedown in a rivalry. Here he is right here to left of your screen, matched up one-on-one with the right tackle, Jack Murphy. And this time, Deshaun Davis, the sophomore, gets the better of Murphy. And remember, Georgia Southern's without their sack leader, Isaac Walker. He's not even, didn't even travel, out with a shoulder injury. So a huge absence has to be filled for Isaac Walker. And that time, Deshaun Davis fills the void nicely.
5 seconds on the play clock. They just get it off in time. Eli Wilson over the top. Right in the middle of the field, Joey Aguilar looks really comfortable throwing to the 50.
Now, a little middle screen on 3rd and long. Now they're in a situation where they want to go for it. Looks like to be about a yard short. Sean Clark going to keep his offense on the field.
First time they've attempted on 4th down today. They're first in the Sun Belt in 4th down conversions. Flags are out, and a little scuffle down to the officials trying to keep the players separate. I think Southern jumped first. It is on Georgia Southern.
Offside. Defense, number 88. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
That's on Justin Rhodes.
I love when offenses do this. They're not snapping the ball here. They're just trying to get a free 5 yards.
And they get it.
Yeah, and they get it. Running up to the line of scrimmage. You know, you give the illusion that you're about to snap the ball. We're going quick, go, go, go. And then you just set hut. And sometimes those defensive linemen jump.
App State will take it to the 45 now in enemy territory. Play action. Aguilar's got to step up. Finds an open guy just sitting midfield. That'll move the chains to the 32-yard line. It's Caden Robinson.
Oh, watch Aguilar's pocket presence here. This is really good. He feels pressure to his left, steps up.
They go quickly. Pistol look. Tossing it out to Christian Horn. To the 27.
Watch this job of Joey Aguilar. All right, he's got pressure right here to your right. He just boop, steps up. That's a free defender right in his face. I mean, that's a play that should be a sack in practice. You know, they'll call that a sack. And us quarterbacks, offensive guys, like, that's not a sack in a real game, and that's evidence why.
Aguilar to the corner of the end zone. Caden Robinson. His team leading 9th touchdown catch of the season. Again, he had the catch in overtime to beat JMU last week.
Oh, what a ball. First, it's the placement of the throw. Lands on the outside shoulder. Great throw, great touch. Beats great coverage every single time. And then Caden Robinson, the transfer for UCF, coming back home from Asheville, North Carolina, only about an hour and a half down the road. And his offensive coordinator, Frank Ponce, said he's a guy that creates his own touches, especially when we get in the red zone.
Caden Robinson first in the conference in touchdown receptions. Michael Hughes, PAT, up and good.
Well, Joey Aguilar showing off on this drive, and he caps it off with a tight spiral for a touchdown pass to Caden Robinson.
Well, App State has made this a 4-point game with that touchdown. 27-yard strike from Joey Aguilar to Caden Robinson. And Aguilar climbing up there. Single-season touchdown record. He's now tied with our Monty Edwards, who they're going to retire his number at halftime.
Yeah, and you know, those other guys like a Monty Edwards, a legend here. Taylor Lamb, multi-year starters. You know, Joey Aguilar doing this in his first full year. I mean, it's just unbelievable. The transfer from or they went and got him from community college out in California, and wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the year.
It did not win the battle in fall camp, but had to replace Ryan Berger in the first half of the opener after he broke his finger, and his first play in FBS was a touchdown pass. Here's Dalen Cobb. The ball pops out. App State falls on it. It is Mountaineers football inside the 15.
Well, rivalry games is all about momentum. And plays like this absolutely change the feeling in the stadium and the atmosphere.
It was Andre Hamilton who came in and stripped the football from Dalen Cobb.
Cobb has that ball in his right hand and just gets it punched out. And this stadium, really, for the first quarter and a half, was kind of quiet. Georgia Southern had delivered the first couple big blows of the game. This thing's alive now.
Again, App State has to win this game to have a chance at the East. Uh-oh, Kanye Roberts. And they make Georgia Southern pay on the turnover. First lead of the day for App State. How quickly things change.
Unbelievable, right? Well, both coaches talked about momentum, seasoning it, capturing it, right? It's hard to get and easy to lose. And all the momentum is on one side now. Sean Clark got his team back in it. A turnover. Ball punched down on a kickoff. And then the very next play, App State on the board and taking the lead for the first time today. The Mountaineers up here in Boone.
Well, Sean Clark told us he had last year's game against Southern on repeat in the facility all week. They lost in double overtime. It cost them a bowl game. Now App State fighting back early in this game.
Yeah, they delivered. Georgia Southern delivered the first punch, and App State has responded nicely. Georgia Southern now 2 turnovers to App State's none.
Sean Clark came up with something creative, too. Keep in mind, this App State team, they were 3-4. They've won 4 games in a row. And that's since he went to his garage and got this pickaxe out. He said after the Coastal game, he was on the bus thinking, you know, what do we got to do? We just got to keep digging. So he Googled digging, and he saw a graphic about a diamond digger who was digging for diamonds, and he stopped, and he was 3 feet short of finding the diamonds. So he's posted that in the football facility. They carry the pickaxe around. They just keep digging.
3-4, halfway through the season. Nobody believed that they could be in this position to win the Sun Belt East, get to the Sun Belt Championship game. He said even my coaches, I just kept telling everybody, like, believe in you win a championship, believe you win a championship. He goes, I know my coaches not even believed in me.
He does make them touch the pickaxe before every team meeting. The coaches have to. As that pass complete from Davis Brin to Caleb Hood. App State, too, has forced 2 turnovers in this game. Winning the turnover battle was something that was really important for them as well.
It's always important, you know. I think the turnover margin becomes more of a factor in the game when you lose it by 2 or 3 turnovers. When it's 1-1 or 2-1, I think coaches would tell you it doesn't have as much impact on losing as maybe we think. But right now, Georgia Southern 2 turnovers to App State none. I mean, you can't give the App State offense that many more possessions.
Back to O.J. Arnold, and he's got the first down. Stopped by Gooch. Ball spotted at the 37-yard line.
They've had some big drops on the last couple drives. I think they got to find a way to get Brin back in where he's comfortable. To me, that's in the RPO game. He loves to run pass options when he has the option to kind of read the box or read how many safeties there are and then disperse it to his weapons out wide.
They'll spread it out over the top of the field. J.J. McAfee. 4 catches already today for J.J. McAfee.
60-year senior. There he is, number 9, working across the formation in zone coverage. And Davis Brin's a great zone thrower. He sees windows. You have to anticipate in zone coverage as a quarterback, and that's one of his best skills.
They told us J.J. McAfee, too, he is a quarterback-friendly tight end. He's basically a wide receiver in a tight end's body. Caleb Hood with the snag. Back-to-back first downs. He's marked at the 28.
You see Hood here. He is so quarterback-friendly. When you hear that, this is a great example of that. Not originally open, and he just keeps sliding to the right. That last little subtle slide to the right away from the linebacker, excuse me, the safety, Jordan Favors, ends up being the difference in a completion or not. He kind of plays wide out like he knows how to play quarterback.
Brin in trouble. Flags everywhere as he completes the pass, but for a loss to O.J. Arnold.
I wonder we're going to get a roughing the passer.
Santana Hopper and Nate Johnson.
Holding, 57, offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
And both refs were on it. 2 yellow flags.
That's on the center, Chandler Strong.
There he is right there at center.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, the guy who draws it is Santana Hopper. Now, only 255 pounds. I mean, but for 255 pounds, Santana Hopper who plays right over that center position. He causes a lot of havoc.
Well, Scott Sloan told us he will take the center and throw him wherever he wants, and you saw him just blow by him on that play. Hopper going right by the center. Chandler Strong trying to hold on. Can't do that. Backed up to their own 38, trying to get to the 18-yard line. Keaton Upshaw picks up 3. Thomas Davis waiting for him, the transfer from Miami.
And you, right there. Come on, I can't hear you. Let's go. Let's go.
At the 36 now, again trying to get to the 18. David Bedinga in the backfield with Davis Bren. Doesn't have a carry this game yet. They've relied mostly on O.J. Arnold. Pass complete to the 26-yard line. Back to Derwin Burgess.
Burgess, who had the huge drop on 3rd down on the last drive. He's going to be a huge part of this passing offense. Him and Caleb Hood are the 2 most featured guys in this #1 passing offense in the Sun Belt. If you're Davis Bren here, you have to end this drive in a field goal attempt. You already got 1 interception on the day, and turnovers have been a problem for him. 14 on the year. Whatever you do, you have to make sure that your field goal kicker has a chance to get 3 points here.
Georgia Southern is 4 for 5 on 3rd down. And App State's going to take a timeout.
The 12th player running off the field at the last second.
And a big 3rd down coming up for Georgia Southern as they're trying to fight back to regain the lead. 3rd and 8 coming up for Georgia Southern. The ball is at the 26-yard line. Hudson, what's the chess match going on here with this defense for App State?
If you're Scott Sloan, pressure has been your friend. Here you are right on field goal range, about a 43-yard attempt right now. If you bring pressure and you get home, you could force him out of a field goal range. But if you play more coverage, you give Bren more time to go through his reads. He's beaten you when you've done that tonight. And they got to be aware of where Caleb Hood is for Georgia Southern. Their #1 go-to guy in situations like this. Here he is right in the slot right here.
They go to Dalen Cobb. Completes the catch to the 20-yard line, 2 yards short of the 1st down. Jordan Favors on the tackle.
Watch this play Jordan Favors makes. He gets blocked by an offensive lineman. It's a screen play. The offensive lineman comes out here. Here he is running right there. He gets blocked and makes the tackle. I mean, the effort there that he shows, if he doesn't run over there and show great effort, that's the difference in a 1st down or not.
A 38-yard field goal attempt for Michael Lance. His career long this season was 48. And it's good. Tie game now.
What an answer. What an answer by Georgia Southern. Fumble on the opening, on the previous kickoff. All the momentum was stolen. This place was going nuts. And Davis Bren just kind of calmly takes his team back down the field and gets 3 points back on the board.
Well, don't forget to tune in for the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship next Saturday, December 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Texas clinched the #1 seed with a win over Texas Tech.
Yeah, they looked good again yesterday, didn't they? Looks like it's going to be Oklahoma State or Oklahoma. Maybe we'll get a rematch of the Red River rivalry. Remember, Oklahoma, the only team to beat Texas this year, so a lot of scenarios still to be played out for the college football playoff.
Brendan Frankie boots that one into the end zone. Now for our Fansville College football update, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. And again, Jordan Travis out for Florida State. Graham Mertz not going to play for Florida in this game either.
This rivalry game, kind of the battle of backups. Which backup quarterback can step in and play and lead their team to a win? Tate Rodemaker has a little bit more experience starting. But Florida with an opportunity to create even more kind of havoc in the college football playoff scenarios.
So now for Joey Aguilar and App State, they've got under 2:30 to work with here. All 3 of their timeouts before the half. And he completes his first pass. It takes it to the 32-yard line. Up top to Robinson. First down.
Georgia Southern kind of found themselves in a very similar situation. 2-minute drill last week at the end of the game versus Old Dominion. And we asked defensive coordinator Brandon Bailey what he will hope to kind of do differently this week, and said maybe get a few more linebacker bodies on the field for the run.
Roberts cuts inside, and he's got enough to move the chain. Still short, just short of midfield to the 48-yard line. 11-yard pickup.
There's a run there. Nice job by Frank Ponce. Everybody thinks you're going to throw it in a 2-minute situation. You got plenty of timeouts left. Stick to the run.
Georgia Southern's going to call timeout. They'll have 1 remaining.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Georgia Southern. That's their first timeout of the first half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, App State's defense forced 2 turnovers today, an interception and a fumble recovery, and they've gotten points off of both of them.
Yeah, it's led to 10 points. The big difference in this game so far is the second drive of the game. Scott Sloan brings pressure, forces Davis Brin into a bad decision. And that drive led to 3 points, and then this one just a few moments ago, Cobb for Georgia Southern fumbles it, and then the very next play, App State punches it in for a touchdown.
That's where you felt the momentum shift for the first time to App State, but then Georgia Southern able to respond with that field goal to tie it. And now Joey Aguilar trying to march this offense for the Mountaineers down the field. Again, App State has to win this game, and they need Coastal Carolina to lose to represent the East in the Sun Belt title game. Kanye Roberts here. Cross midfield, a good hard run to the 47-yard line in Georgia Southern territory.
2 timeouts left for App State. And just kind of crossed over the 50. You want to have a sense of urgency, but with those timeouts, you don't have to rush. You can still run the football as well.
And they'll take their time. Near side pass is caught up in the air by Mekhi Jackson. And that's the first time that we've called his name. He was their leading target last week. Season high 5 catches against JMU.
Yep, soft corner over there to the boundary, and Aguilar finds his receiver. More importantly, gets out of bounds. Remember, the clock temporarily now only stops under 2 minutes in the first half and at the end of the game. So getting out of bounds there, almost like an extra timeout, essentially.
Still have 2 to work with. Looking for Caden Robinson. Just a little bit in front of him. Demel Hickman riding his hip down the sideline.
Hickman is a very long corner, 6 foot 185. And he stays right there in that hip pocket. Ball just outside the reach of Caden Robinson, who had the touchdown catch earlier in a very similar situation. 1-on-1. These corners for Georgia Southern are really long. Bartholomew 6'1", Hickman right there 6 foot.
Aguilar to Christian Horn. Spinning around, it gets loose. Got fielded Christian Horn kept fighting. Yards for Christian Horn, his 6th touchdown catch of the season. He had not had a reception.
Please reset the game clock to 55 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 55 seconds. Thank you.
He had not had a catch in the last 3 games. Hughes puts it up, and it's 24-17 App State.
Brandon Bailey, defense coordinator for Southern, told us missed tackles have been a huge problem this year. And that's all this is right here. It's one thing to just give up the play, but there's one missed tackle by Bartholomew and then another missed tackle by Tyrell Davis. 2 huge missed tackles, and it's been a theme that has plagued this Georgia Southern defense all season long.
Yeah, Demel Hickman should have had him on the original contact. He spun out of it.
You have to find a way to get the receiver on the ground right there. And they don't, and Christian Horn makes them pay.
Again, this game's so important when it comes to the Sun Belt East. App State has to win, and JMU has to beat Coastal. JMU is up 21-0 right now on Coastal Carolina.
I don't know if maybe when App State goes in at halftime, if they'll show that score here inside the stadium, or get the crowd roaring a little more. But it's funny, we asked Coach Sean Clark about that. Hey, you walk off the field tonight, you'll know walking into the locker room whether you're going to the Sun Belt Championship game or not. Do you have somebody kind of tell you that? You know. He gave you a little bit of coach. He gave us a little bit of coach speak. Hey, we're in the moment, but yeah, there is.
David Cobb stays on his feet. Almost fumbled it again. Remember, he fumbled his last return. Again, rivalry weekend rolling on tonight. Florida State, Florida. 7 Eastern, and then on ABC, #1 Georgia against Georgia Tech at 7:30.
And now with a great return, Georgia Southern here and Brian Ellis can be more aggressive. 2 timeouts. You've got a quarterback that you believe in. You got the #1 passing offense in the Sun Belt. You go try to get you 3 points here, at least.
Davis Brin with all kinds of time, and he is almost picked off by Tyreek Funderburk for the 2nd time today.
Well, Davis Brin again gets a little lucky here. He's got his running back, O.J. Arnold, wide open in the flat. That's where the ball should have gone to. Instead, he gets locked on his receiver a little bit too much. Lucky to get away with that one.
2nd and 10 from their own 37. 43 seconds, 2 timeouts for Georgia Southern. Brin again, time in traffic. Funderburk is everywhere. He is reading Davis Brin like a book. The 2nd time today he has picked him off. That is 3 turnovers.
Well, Davis Brin gets locked in on his receiver. Back-to-back plays. The first one he got away with. Both picks tonight. He's forced it in there and just gotten locked in. He's going to have a crossing route right here working across the field. It's a long developing play. Look at all those black jerseys surrounding him. And it's the corner from the other side of the field, Tyreek Funderburk, who just reads his eyes and falls right into the pick.
And App State's going to have 2 timeouts and 34 seconds to work with. Aguilar checks it down to Kanye Roberts, and he steps out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
Just a detrimental decision by Davis Brin. He has a couple of these decisions. Last 2 games he hadn't had a turnover. We talked about it coming into today. the decision making from him, there's certain throws that make you go, wow, that's so impressive. But then there's always a couple plays every game for him this year that have made you go, wow. You know, what were you looking at? What were you thinking? And that was one of them.
App State has got to win this game, and they need Coastal to lose in order to clinch the East. Looking for Deshaun Davis in double coverage. It was a tight window, and that pass incomplete, no flags. TJ Smith and Demel Hickman in coverage for Southern.
Just working right down the seam here. Aguilar trying to drop that ball right in there in between a corner and a safety. Thought originally maybe Hickman might have beat him to the ball, but after second look, I think it's a good no call for PI.
2nd and 10 from the 25. Joey Aguilar calling his own number. He pulls it. First down to the 11, excuse me.
He just ends up reading Deshaun Davis, the defensive end right here.
Appalachian State, it's their second timeout of the first half. Be a 30-second timeout.
Joey Aguilar is not a guy who they run a whole lot of zone read with right here. You'll see this is who he's reading right here. The defensive end position. It's pretty simple. If he comes crashing down the line of scrimmage like that, you pull it and you replace him. And that's an explosive run. 10 yards or more by the quarterback. They do love to use the quarterback run when they get down in here in the red zone.
Look at where Joey Aguilar stacks up. Look at this list. He came into this game top 5 in the nation. Those are some impressive names in front of him when it comes to touchdown passes.
Pretty rich company, isn't it?
Wow.
Golly. I mean, let me see this. Jane Daniels probably will win the Heisman. Bo Nix probably be a first-round draft pick. Caleb Williams won the Heisman. Michael Penix might. I mean, that's elite.
Joey Aguilar, backup.
Yeah.
Started the season as the backup quarterback.
Joey Aguilar soon to be that next guy who gets drafted.
Again, their last drive, they had 2:33 on the clock. They come down and get a touchdown, a chance to get more points before the half. Aguilar all day. Corner of the end zone. No good. Was looking for Deshaun Davis. Mark Stampley there with him.
Yeah, Davis is open. I think Aguilar just leads him a little too far upfield. Let's see. Ball in his hands. Yeah, and that right foot never gets a foot down in bounds. If Aguilar throws that ball more toward the pylon and keeps his receiver, Davis, on the run, it's a touchdown. It just kind of gets away from him, and it kind of drifts upfield a little too far.
They told us Joey Aguilar's best strength. He's always on to the next play. Short-term memory. Here's the next play, 2nd and 10. Hit as he's thrown. And the pass incomplete to Milan Tucker. Dangerous throw. TJ Smith there for Southern to break it up.
Aguilar gets his arm hit. You'll see right here as he goes to throw this ball. Deshaun Davis again getting in there and causing some havoc. That ball lucky to get to the ground. All those white jerseys make you just hold your breath as an App State fan.
He was looking for Dalton Stroman, and now 5
Timeout.
seconds on the clock.
Georgia
They'll
Southern.
try to kick
That's
the
their
field goal.
second timeout of the first half. It's a 30-second timeout.
App State trailed 14-3 in this game after the first quarter. Knowing they had to win this game, and Clay Helton is upset about something.
Yeah, I think he wants a holding call. He felt like Sean Davis was held right there, like Jack Murphy. He's letting him have it. You see right here to the right side of your screen, 59 on 90 right there. Watch Deshaun Davis kind of rip through right here. Yeah, I think he has a pretty strong case for holding. Jack Murphy kind of gets his arm wrapped around the neck of Davis.
This will be a 23-yard field goal attempt, 28-yard field goal attempt. Hughes up and good. So in the final 2.5 minutes, App State is able to get a touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah, really nice job, though, by that Georgia Southern defense to just force a field goal there. That's the best you can do. Huge difference between a touchdown or a field goal there. If you're, Davis Brin, you've seen the good, the bad have been. You've made a couple decisions where you forced the ball and it's put your defense in a really bad situation to cover on a short field.
App State has forced 3 turnovers. They crawl back to take the lead, a 10-point lead into the locker room at half. A spot in the the top of the Sun Belt East is up for grabs. Courtney Lau and Hudson Mason with you. App State was able to score 10 points in the final 2 minutes and 33 seconds, but also their defense forced 3 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Davis Brin right now, some of those problems that we saw in the first half of the year with turnovers have kind of come back up, and not every turnover is the same. Not every interception is the same, but when you throw it into double coverage and you make bad decisions, those are the ones that kind of sting the most as a quarterback. And his 2 picks in the first half put his defense in really bad position, and one of them right there before the first half ended. Meanwhile,
for App State, Joey Aguilar, 1 touchdown pass away from setting a new single-season record in App State history.
Yeah, he's been as advertised. I mean, top 5 coming into tonight in the country in touchdown passes, and as you said, had 2 more to that. So 1 more touchdown pass, and he will break Taylor Lamb's school record for most touchdown passes in a single season. And what a story it's been for him all year long, for a guy that didn't even start the year as the starting quarterback. He has taken every opportunity, including tonight, and he's run with it.
Joey Aguilar, California cool is what they say. 14 of 23 for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns today. App State trailed 14-3 in this game at the end of the first quarter. And again, this is so important. App State, if they win this game and Coastal loses, they will go to the Sun Belt Championship game. That is the halftime score of that Coastal game. James Madison is up 28-0. App State only focused right now on doing its part on this field.
Yeah, you think Sean Clark maybe just quickly or briefly mentioned that James Madison was up 28-0 at halftime?
Probably.
Like, hey guys, let's go take care of our business because James Madison is taking care of theirs.
Sean Clark, a lot of passion for this program. He was a player here. It's a bigger responsibility when you come back as the head coach of your alma mater.
It sure is, right? I mean, there's like 5 or 6 coaches in FBS that are coaching their alma mater, and we asked Sean Clark about that, and he said it's the best job in the world, and it's the worst job in the world because when it's going good, it's going good, but boy, when you lose, you feel it even more.
Well, App State took the momentum into the locker room, and Kanye Roberts running out with the momentum. Still on his feet across midfield. Steps out at the 41-yard line in Georgia Southern territory. That's how you explode out of the locker room.
Watch him just kind of press this, and then he cuts it back. And there's an old adage with outside zone run plays, which that is that the front side blocks lead to first down, but those backside blocks lead to bigger plays and touchdowns.
Yeah, I'd give it to him again, too. Roberts not going down without a fight to the 16-yard line. And again, Nate Noel, their leading running back, he is emergency only today, and they haven't had to use him.
Yeah, there haven't been really many emergency situations to use him.
3rd straight handoff to Roberts. Picks up a yard on the play. He had a 37-yard run, then a 25-yard run on this drive.
And finally, he's like, hey, take myself out. Now they're bringing in a different running back. I can't give you 3 in a row.
Timeout. Officials timeout.
There's an injured player for Georgia Southern down on the far side. It's Justin Rhodes for Georgia Southern. He is able to stand up and walk off on his own.
The defensive line is already pretty thin coming into tonight without Isaac Walker. Their leading sack guy also leads them in TFLs.
Also first in the nation in forced fumbles. And Kanye Roberts getting a breather on the bench. After those two back-to-back explosive plays, Anderson Castle the back. Play action game, and Joey Aguilar is picked off by TJ Smith. His team-leading third interception. Mountaineers came out with the momentum. Did Georgia Southern just grab it back?
Yeah, what a play by TJ Smith, the Kansas State transfer. I mean, he reads the eyes the entire time. Here he is right here at the top of your screen. He's just going to kind of insert right down in there and pick it off for a touchdown. Boy, what a big-time play by TJ Smith. When your defense needed it the most, he steps up, and I thought if he was able to keep his feet, he might have taken it back to the house, because there was no App State offensive guy anywhere near him.
First turnover by App State today. Davis Bren rolling and throws it right back to the Mountaineers. Jordan Favors, not so fast, making his fourth INT of the season. That is 3 interceptions thrown by Davis Bren today.
Bren's trying to get the corner out right here from the slot, and it's just not open. Ball's thrown behind. It's not a ball that you should throw, and if you're going to throw that and you're going to miss, you got to miss toward the sideline. You cannot miss inside, because when you do, this is what happens.
Jordan Favors, team leading 4th interception. He had 2 of those in their game against Marshall. So now quickly Joey Aguilar and App State's offense back on the field. Easy touchdown. Little drama in between, but the pass complete to Eli Wilson.
What a sequence of 3 plays, huh? Can you keep up with all that? They just wrap Eli Wilson down here into the flat. And it is a walk-in touchdown. That Georgia Southern defense, I'm sure, frustrated, probably a little bit tired. That's kind of been like the story of the year for Georgia Southern, right? We talked about offensively, they've given the ball away a ton. Defensively, they're one of the best. They're 15th in the country in forcing turnovers. So it's like you have this team that turns the ball over a lot, but then gets turnovers a lot. And typically teams like that kind of fall right in the 7-6 win column every year. It's just you can't turn the ball over that much and beat good teams, especially in the Sun Belt.
Well, that was wild. Interception answered by an interception for App State, and then Joey Aguilar with his 8th game this season with 3 or more touchdown passes. History tonight for Joey Aguilar, a new single-season record. A new name going into that record book at App State. 32 touchdown passes on the season for Joey Aguilar. And App State's coverage unit comes up big too, a stop at the 15. Well, kick off your Week 12 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. They'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. And then Monday, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, the Monday Night Football crew, they're in Minneapolis. The matchup between Josh Dobbs, the Tennessee Volunteer, and the Vikings facing Justin Fields and the Bears, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes. So J.C. French in at quarterback. Not surprised to see this after 3 interceptions by Bren?
No, remember, we saw J.C. French. He actually threw a touchdown pass earlier in the game.
He'll hand it off first to O.J. Arnold.
You know, that was kind of sparingly, let's, bring you in for this one play and then bring you out. This feels more like he might be here to stay. given the way that Davis Brin has kind of turned the ball over tonight.
I mean, they are confident in him. He's been a great addition. Transferred him from Memphis after one season there. Did not play at Memphis. He was an early enrollee at Georgia Southern in January. And they've used him here and there. O.J. Arnold will get them the first down to the 27-yard line. Right now, App State is outscoring. They're on a 31-3 run when it comes to points.
Yeah, I mean, and they've all come off turnovers. This game got away for Georgia Southern. You can always point back to the turnovers.
4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and 1 fumble. French stepping up and running. Falls forward, and that's good enough for the first down.
This is the biggest difference between him and Davis Brin. J.C. French is more mobile, and one of the very first things that Clay Helton told us when we asked him, he said, yeah, more opportunity with his legs, want to get his legs going, and if you don't rush him correctly or you know, kind of lose some integrity in your rush lanes, he can beat you with his legs. So when you talk about a redshirt freshman who hasn't played a lot of college football, that's a way to kind of get him in rhythm.
They did tell us if J.C. French's time comes, he's ready. Wow, you can hear that hit all the way up in the press box from Caden Sullivan.
Now listen to this hit. They moved Caden Sullivan a couple weeks ago when they went to the star package on defense. He was one of the other guys that kind of moved positions and has benefited from it well, playing inside linebacker now.
Wide open target up at the top. It's Caleb Hood. It's a dangerous guy to be left alone, and he's across midfield.
Been kind of a quiet night for Caleb Hood, his 5th catch on the night, and you know you're pretty talented when a guy has 5 catches and you're calling it a quiet night.
Now, this is a guy that creates for himself. They don't have to think very hard to get him open. Caleb Hood just goes out there and does it. French ran out of time. He's dropped by Michael Fletcher.
Well, here he is right here, coming off the edge, working one-on-one on a tackle, on your left tackle, and he just beats Brian Miller. Gets to the quarterback.
It's a loss of 6. Puts the ball on the Georgia Southern side of the field at their own 47. French in trouble again, and just throws it away this time.
And now this front 4 of Scott Sloan's defense is really kind of teeing off. 2nd and long, expecting a pass. And this defensive front, boy, when they know kind of a pass is coming and they can get a jump, they pin their ears back. They are miserable to deal with.
And that was Fletcher and Hagler getting in the face of J.C. French. It is 3rd and a lot. They need to get to the 37-yard line on the App State side of the field.
I expect some type of screen and maybe a safe throw here.
And that ball hit the ground. You know, David Badinga tried to play it off, but that's an incomplete pass. And French again, the pocket was collapsing on him.
Yeah, I mean, the pocket just dwindles within seconds. Montez Kelly coming from that nose guard position. This is right there on the quarterback, and J.C. French barely has any time to get it to his running back. That's a check down.
So Alex Smith on to punt for Georgia Southern. Caden Robinson back for App State.
Yep, there it is. Touches the ground.
Flags out.
Prior to the snap, false start, 44, kicking team. That's a 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Everything's swaying towards App State.
Please
right
reset the game clock to 9:23. 9:23. Thank you.
And the training staff taking a look at J.C. French and that right arm. Robinson calling for the fair catch at the 16. App State's defense forcing 4 turnovers in this game with the Sun Belt East title on the line. The last 3 Thursdays, and we are on a 4-game winning streak. We are not changing, even though it's Thanksgiving. So they grilled pizza on Thursday for Thanksgiving, just in case.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think I have more of a problem with maybe like what he put on his pizza. Was that beans on his pizza?
I didn't see beans on the pizza.
I'm gonna have to bring that photo back up.
We may have to replay that.
I thought I saw some beans on that pizza.
I think it was like olives or something. Well, right now, App State up 34-17. And Anderson Castle diving forward. We'll take it up for the replay. A little shoving after that play.
They look like beans, don't they?
No, those are olives.
They look like beans to me.
They are not
Can
beans.
you confirm those are olives? We don't have a sideline reporter, so
Yep.
I don't know how to confirm that, but they look like beans.
I think they're olives.
Olives on pizza, that's a thing too?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Come on, Supreme. Anderson Castle has room. Just bulldozing guys across midfield. Again, just his 4th appearance of the season. He missed the first part of the year with a foot injury, had surgery this season.
Yeah, coaches describe him as like kind of a Christian McCaffrey slasher type style runner.
23-yard pickup for him. Milan Tucker with the grab. To the 43. Aguilar had all kinds of time. Gets it to Mekhi Jackson. We mentioned Joey Aguilar is the new single-season touchdown passing record holder at App State. He's climbing up in the Sun Belt, too. He's at 32. The record is 37.
Yeah, and he's going to get what looks like it, more than likely a conference championship game next week.
Yeah.
The way things are going, plus a bowl game. So, you know, possible. 2 games left, 5 to go. We could do that.
He's had 3 or more touchdown passes in 8 games this year. What a grab from Michael Hetzel. Just his 9th reception this year.
Just running this slot slant right there. I like how he just crosses the face of that DB for Georgia Southern.
Timeout. Officials timeout.
And Deshaun Davis is down on the field for Georgia Southern right now.
One of their young defensive linemen. And I thought coming into tonight that this defensive line had to play big and a lot of pressure on them, especially with Isaac Walker, their sack leader, being out. But not a lot of people get pressure on this offense and this play action kind of attack that Frank Ponce has put together. Rip Rowan, the defensive line coach for Georgia Southern, has done a really good job. You look at a lot of these, some of their best pass rushers should all be coming back next year. They're all young guys. Deshaun Davis right there, he's a sophomore.
He's up, but slowly limping his way towards the sideline. Well, at halftime, memorable moment, Armonte Edwards, they retired his number 14. It'll be the last number they retire at App State. Was a 4-time All-American, a 2-time national champion.
Replay has stopped the game to look at the previous catch. The previous play is under further review.
two-time National Player of the Year. As I'll take a look at this last play.
Trying to determine whether it's a catch or not.
Ooh.
And you're looking for, is the ball moving upon the catch? Is the ball trapped on the ground?
It was originally called a catch. Marty Appalachian is our replay official tonight.
I don't, at least from those angles, I mean, I don't see much that would.
After further review, the ruling of a catch stands. First down.
So stands is the key word there, not confirmed. Didn't see enough to confirm it or change the call. See what this flag is.
Disconcerting signals. Defense, number 91 with the clap. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
That is one of the things they emphasize is any kind of snap count, imitation.
Yeah. You don't hear that a lot, but
no.
It is against the rules.
Yes, it is. Clean pocket to throw from, and flags come out. He was looking for Milan Tucker. And Seth Robertson might be getting a PI
Pass
call
interference.
here.
Defense, number 20. That's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Yeah, it's the right call. Seth Robertson beats Milan Tucker to the ball right here. You'll see it right at this last second. That right arm right there. Right around the neck of Tucker. This will be a good angle as well. Right at the last second, he's got his eyes on it. He just kind of panics. He saw the ball. Maybe kind of mistimed it, but that side judge was standing right there by the pylon and saw every bit of it.
That's 8 penalties on Georgia Southern, none on App State. Anderson Castle to pay dirt. The App State lead grows. Growing closer to a Sun Belt East title.
Well, they had 44 rushing yards at half, and now they're up to $165. How about the right side of this offensive line? Great block by Jack Murphy, the right tackle, which just kind of sets the crease, creates the gap, and Anderson Castle does the rest. Now this running game is getting going.
App State only scored 3 points in the first quarter. They are up to 38 points since then. A commanding 41-17 lead. Santa better get to work. The countdown is on. Thanksgiving is over.
What is he doing? He should be grinding at the North Pole right now. This is not the offseason.
He's enjoying this App State lead, 41-17. A win today for App State and a loss by Coastal, and App State will represent the East in the Sun Belt Championship game next week. They'll face Troy. DeAndre Buchanan runs this out. We want to go back to our Monty Edwards because they had that replay review. We didn't get to give him his due. This guy's second in FCS history in total offense behind Steve McNair, who was a legend for the Tennessee Titans in the NFL. They retired his number 14 jersey at halftime, a two-time National Player of the Year. Sean Clark was telling us he was actually recruited as a corner. He ended up playing quarterback and just changing the face of the program with one game, the win over Michigan.
Oh, man, I think everybody, if you were old enough at that time, it was one of those moments where everybody remembers where they were when App State beat Michigan. I mean, that was one of the big upsets of that time. Monty Edwards was the main catalyst going up to the big house and pulling off that upset.
They're the only two-time winner of the Walter Payton Award, the best player in FCS, four-time All-American, the first in school history, and won a couple of FCS national titles.
Well, the Walter Payton Award, I mean, that's essentially like winning the Heisman.
Yes.
You know, I mean, 2 times in a row.
Davis Brin back in at quarterback, completes the pass to Derwin Burgess. On the last drive, they went with J.C. French after Brin came out their first play in the second half through an interception. His third of the night.
And it's almost kind of like they just told Brin, hey, take a breather, take a drive off. With 3 interceptions, and really all 3 of them have just been kind of poor decisions.
Since the first quarter, Georgia Southern only 142 yards of total offense. Meanwhile, App State 319. 3rd and 3. McAfee in motion. Brenda Caleb Hood for the first down at the 44-yard line.
Well, Hood finds kind of a soft spot right there running a dig route, and Brin links up for him. Hood set another record this year, that record that he set last year. Only need 4 receptions to set the reception record that he broke last year. So breaking his record this year, he's had 2 incredible years in a row and been their main featured guy in this passing attack.
Yeah, we needed 4. He has 7 tonight, including a touchdown. Brin on play action, got to move, and throws it away towards the area of Derwin Burgess.
Yeah, Marcus Clark in there. They're so deep along this defensive line. I mean, they rotate a good, healthy amount of guys. You see Davis Brin's stat line. A lot of that has had to do with the pressure and has led to the interceptions.
Scott Sloan was telling us about that defensive line. You know, they train at every position. They cross-train. That helped when they lost Sean Collins a couple of games ago. O.J. Arnold to midfield. Still needs 4 yards to move the chains. Stopped by Caden Sullivan.
You go back a couple weeks ago, and this defense for App State was giving up 30 points per game. And they made a little bit of an adjustment, and it's made big dividends. They've gone to more of a speed. They call it the star package, and they basically took that nickel Sam that was a linebacker body, and they put a safety body there. Now it's E.J. Jackson playing that position, but it's allowed them to get more speed on the field, which they feel like even when they do make mistakes, they got enough speed on the field to cover it up.
Brin dropping way back. All kinds of Mountaineers coming at him. Thomas Davis was there, Nick Ross too. And Davis is still down.
Well, look at all these black jerseys. You don't know really where they're coming from.
Officials timeout.
Davis is up and jogging off the field. Alex Smith to punt. Caden Robinson is back for the Mountaineers. And that one goes into the end zone. Well, here's our college football award spotlight brought to you by the Home Depot. How about these two rushers in the Sun Belt? You're going to see Kamani Vidal and Troy in that Sun Belt championship game next week.
Yeah, both these guys just absolute studs. We had the chance to see Marcus Carroll twice this year at Georgia State. He's as advertised, but really looking forward to next Friday on ESPN, that Sun Belt championship game with Troy coming out of the West. What looks like right now, App State going to be representing the East.
App State needs a win here, and they need Coastal to lose. And right now, Coastal is down 41-7 against James Madison. They trailed 28-0 at the half.
Yeah, James Madison is the real deal, and obviously they can't play. It's been well documented in the conference championship game this year because of restrictions of them, moving up from FCS to FBS. But you and I had a James Madison game. I think anybody that's seen JMU this year knows they're the real deal. And then you see what this App State team did to them at their house, in their house last week. It got the attention of everybody across college football.
With College Game Day there, too. Caden Robinson, a big catch over the top to the 42-yard line.
I really like this Caden Robinson kid. He goes to UCF out of high school from Asheville, North Carolina. App State really recruited him hard. They didn't get him. Wasn't playing as much at UCF, came home and has found a new role here in this offense.
It's so interesting, and you hear coaches across numerous sports say how important it is to keep those original relationships, because the portal has, you might not get a guy the first time around.
Timeout.
But then he goes in the portal a couple years later, and he remembers, hey, I enjoyed talking to them. I enjoyed my visit there.
It's so true, and it's such a great point, because when I was coming out of high school 10 years ago, if you were a school, if you didn't finish first in the kids' recruiting process, you might as well have finished last.
Right.
It didn't matter. But now with the portal, you're right. Like, you may finish second in a kid's recruiting or third, but that kid remembers, hey, I liked how that coach recruited me, even though I didn't choose them. And then when you go in the portal, you got that relationship and that rapport that you build as a high school kid. It really does. It does matter that you keep those connections and relationships. And sometimes those kids end up transferring and they come back to a different school, and that's what's happened for Caden Robinson.
Shamar Bartholomew is able to get up and walk across the field. He was the player shaken up for Georgia Southern. Let's take a look around the college football landscape as we count down to the CFP National Championship, brought to you by AT&T. Rivalry weekend always makes things fun, and this was the big game too, right? Ohio State, Michigan, game day was there, and it's Michigan coming out on top. They're going to face Iowa, the offensive juggernaut.
Slam the under.
I live with a household of Hawkeyes, I can say that. Aguilar on the keeper, and that'll move the chains. He's good to the 45 before Marquez Watson Trent tackled him.
And he's got such great pocket presence a couple times a night where you think he's down in this front for Georgia Southern. You think he's going to get home, but he's more athletic than you give him credit for, or maybe that you even recognize on tape.
Kanye Roberts. We were asking Frank Ponce, their offensive coordinator, and Sean Clark, what was this battle like in camp where Joey Aguilar didn't win the starting job? And it was super competitive. So much so, Sean Clark told us that Frank Ponce was having him grade every practice and present him the findings every day because it was that close. And it came down to accuracy in practice and in their scrimmages, and that's what got Ryan Berger the starting job in the opener. Berger went down in the first half of the opener with a broken finger. That's when Joey Aguilar came in, and what did he do on his first FBS play?
Do a tutty.
Thornton Gentry, one of the O-linemen, down right now for App State. Helping fill those tackle spots that they lost. Remember, they lost both of their tackles to the NFL. He's going to jog off the field. That's a good sign.
Yeah, you like seeing that, don't you?
Yep.
The NC State transfer, and so line's been really good this year, giving up single-digit sacks, which is unheard of this day and age in college football.
Markel Samuel, who has been rotating in frequently on the offensive line, he'll take over that left tackle spot. Eli Wilson has himself another catch. Who is a man? Let the tight end cook to the 12.
Well, he just lines up right here to slot, just runs a simple 5-yard out route, and it's zone coverage. So that linebacker, Kadri Jackson, has got to push hard and hard to get over there, but not too much ground to cover. And then what he does with after the catch impresses you the most. They got two tight ends between Miller Gibbs and Eli Wilson. They use their tight ends in the pass game better than any team I've seen in this conference.
He's tied his career high with 4 receptions that he tied last week against JMU. Aguilar bobbles the snap. Still able to pick it up. Almost had himself another touchdown pass. Deshaun Davis in the area.
He was open. Tucker was open, wasn't he? His ball, running back kind of accidentally, Roberts hits it out of quarterback's hands, and well, excuse me, that's Deshaun Davis that was open in the back of the end zone, but Aguilar just picks it up and wings it. He almost landed right in the hands of Davis.
Wouldn't that have been a highlight? 32 seconds left in the quarter. Roberts to the 10. Weston Wallace with the stop. And they'll let this clock wind down. 1 quarter away from a Sun Belt East title. And Sean Clark wanting the fans to get up and feel it. 4th quarter on deck. Start of the 4th quarter. Courtney Lyle and Hudson Mason with you. App State is 1 quarter away from repping the Sun Belt East. They need a win here. They need Coastal to lose, and Coastal is down 42-7 right now to JMU. App State's defense has forced 4 turnovers tonight. Joey Aguilar has
set the play clock to 25 seconds. The play clock to 25 seconds. Thank you.
Joey Aguilar has set the single season touchdown passing record at App State. All this after they trailed 14-3 at the end of the 1st quarter. He's got another one. How do you leave Caden Robinson wide open? His 2nd touchdown tonight. Gives him 10 on the year.
Yeah, Caden Robinson just untouched. Into the back of the end zone for a complete bust in the secondary by Georgia Southern.
Michael Hughes, PAT up and good. 48-17, App State.
Well, here's Caden Robinson. I mean, he's lined up right here in the slot, and all he's going to do is just push vertical, and the linebacker is supposed to carry with him. And that is as easy of a pitch and catch for a touchdown pass as you'll find in college football. Zone coverage there, miscommunication between the linebacker. Some linebacker there should be carrying Robinson. When I say carry, basically running with him. You carry the receiver vertical, and that's just been kind of the night for this Georgia Southern defense.
Caden Robinson, the leader in the Sun Belt in touchdown receptions, now with 10 on the year.
Remember, Brandon Bailey told us this week the 2 biggest problems they've had this year as a defense were tackling and bust.
Yes.
Bust in the secondary, and I would consider that a bust.
Look at the scoring differential. First 7 games for App State. compared to the last 5. That includes tonight. Again, a team that started 3-4.
Crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy. There's DeAndre Buchanan. Buchanan with open field. There's a flag down. But DeAndre Buchanan taking it coast to coast. We'll see what the penalty is. And another flag just came out late.
Offside, 45 kicking team. That penalty's declined. The touchdown is good. Correction.
Well, Georgia Southern had worked on a new blocking scheme for kickoffs this week, and we were told to watch DeAndre Buchanan and Dalen Cobb, and it worked on that play.
Yeah, it sure did. He found one crease and hit it, and App State, one of their gunners on the very end of the kickoff
Also, there
team.
was a second foul on the play by the kicking team. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. That penalty can be added to the succeeding kicking spot.
A 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for DeAndre Buchanan.
Now we're just waiting on a ball.
That's always helpful.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Just waiting on a ball.
Seems like an important part of the game. It is named football.
Whose responsibility is that?
Well, there's usually guys on both sides running up and down with footballs for each team.
Still waiting on a ball.
There comes one.
There comes the ball. I mean, the App State ball boy was about to just let them borrow a ball. Here, you want a ball? I'll get you one.
Does that show up on the not top 10?
I could see that making it.
Or Sunday Fun Day. Still a lot of work for Georgia Southern to do, but a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by DeAndre Buchanan. Well, it's time now for the Allstate Good Hands play. I don't think this is any secret who it's going to. Tyreek Funderburg, who has not one, but 2 interceptions today.
Yeah, and 2 really impressive interceptions. The first one was just a heck of a play. And finishing on a tough kind of high ball. And that one, he just reads Davis Brin's eyes, works his way across the field. You know, he's an impressive corner at 6 foot 185, the 5th-year senior. He's played a lot of ball, and you know, those are the corners that always scare you as a quarterback, because they kind of understand as a corner what a quarterback is looking at, and they've probably been looked off so many times in their career. They know when a quarterback's trying to trick them or move them with their eyes and when they're not. And he has helped his defense put out a impressive performance tonight against a really good, the #1 passing offense coming into tonight in the Sun Belt.
You know, we mentioned the change that App State made with their defense, going to that star package. Interesting stat. First 7 games when they had not changed yet, 7 interceptions. Last 5 games, including tonight, 8 interceptions. So they got more speed on the field. They got playmakers out there, and they're turning the ball over more.
Yep. More DBs on the field, whether it's a safety or a corner. You know, they took that nickel Sam linebacker out and replaced him with a safety and E.J. Jackson. So, yeah, they at any time pretty much have 5 DB bodies on the field. And not only does it help getting more speed on the field, but it's also helped get more guys with better ball skills on the field.
Well, Scott Sloan, the DC, was telling us the game these days, you have to defend the whole field.
Right. Sideline to sideline,
Yes.
end zone to end zone.
This different defense helps them do that. Play action for Joey Aguilar. That pass incomplete. I thought it was interesting, the conversation that we were having yesterday with Frank Pons and how much you love their play action game. Why is that something that you really were impressed with watching film?
I don't see it a lot anymore in college football. It's kind of it's like a fullback. It's kind of archaic, you know, and when a team can do it really well like App State does, it is hard to defend.
Where does it stress your defense the most?
I think it stresses the linebackers and the safeties. You know, so many of these throws tonight, and if you watch App State on tape, they're using play action and they're throwing these dig routes, these post routes right behind the linebackers, but in front of the safeties. And then, you know, it marries so well with your run game. When you got a really good run game and you make that run look so identical, but it's actually a play action pass. I mean, talk to any inside linebacker or safety that's had to defend it, and it's just miserable. But you don't see it so much anymore. And I think you don't see that because quarterbacks, it's hard to teach them to turn their back to the secondary.
Pass incomplete. Looking for Wilson. And that'll bring up 4th down.
It's just hard for quarterbacks to have to, you know, either put your head down in the gun, or if you're under center doing play action, turn your back. And then, bam, you got to whip your eyes back around, and in a second and a half, you got to make a decision, and guys are moving. That's a lot on an 18, 19, 20-year-old that, guess what, still has to go to school and, you know, go to tutor and, you know, doesn't get to study tape like a professional for a full-time job.
Mitchell Lake will punt. Caleb Hood is back. Let's see what he can get. Trying to go back the other way. Out of real estate. Dropped at the 27. We step aside. 4th quarter here in Boone in a rivalry game.
Let's go out there.
.38 to go in this ball game. App State, after a slow start, has exploded here. 461 total yards. They've turned Georgia Southern over 4 times. The Davis Brennan company back out on the field, trying to chip away at this big hole. Dan Cobb with the catch. And he steps out at the 33-yard line. Funderburk and Ross forcing him out.
If you're just tuning in, you'd probably be so shocked to hear that Georgia Southern actually led 14-3 at one point in the first quarter. And
into the first quarter.
Yeah, it just unraveled for him right there before half with a couple turnovers.
3 interceptions thrown today by Davis Bren. A team that was hoping to turn the page. They've lost 3 in a row coming into this game. They have a bowl game. They're bowl eligible. But App State has been tough, and Joey Aguilar has been fantastic. Bren back to Cobb at the 43-yard line.
And you, right there. Come on,
It's been an interesting season for Davis Bren. We mentioned the turnovers now. 16 interceptions on the season. He had 5 interceptions in the game against Wisconsin, but the coaches had full confidence in him. David Bedinga weaving his way to the first down and across midfield.
Yeah, it's a nice run from Bedinga, the freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, who's getting more and more reps as the season's gone on. I really like what he brings to the table, positive about his future.
He's a walk-on, too.
Yeah.
Freshman in high school, he rushed for over 1,300 yards on the season. J.J. McAfee by himself gets the yards they need to move the chains.
And they pumped the bubble route to Caleb Hood, and they kind of leaked the tight end McAfee up the sideline. And it's been a quiet night for McAfee. We didn't even know if he was going to play. It was a game-time decision, but this is a guy who's had a really, really good career and pretty much owns every single one of the tight end records here at Georgia Southern.
Came in as a wide receiver, offered to move to tight end last year. This is Badinga spinning towards the first down. Caden Sullivan along for the ride.
Now, if Georgia Southern can get a touchdown here and make this an 18-point game, it's still three scores with a couple 2-point conversions. Far-fetched, but maybe they can make it interesting and more stressful than App State wants it to be.
Dalen Cobb again to the 21.
And this is how they were moving the ball when they were at the beginning of the game, when they were having so much success, right? Quick game, screens, which really eliminated the pass rush. It's really good pass rush for App State when the ball's coming out that quick.
The first drive of the game, they had 2 explosive plays, 6-play touchdowns. Badinga with the thud by 2 guys at the 10-yard line. They'll mark him officially at the 11. Andrew Parker Jr. was one of those, a high-octane guy on this App State defense.
That time, Bren gets to his back. Oh, you hear the contact, how violent it is. But that time, Bren did something that he hadn't done earlier in the game, and as he got all the way through his read, nothing was open, and he checked it down to his back. There have been some times tonight where, especially on the interceptions, he forced it, and the back was open. That time, he didn't, and the back was wide open in the flat.
No time to make any checks there. He goes down. Montez Kelly ate him up. A loss of 7.
Here he is, 95, lined up right over the center. Kind of coming right through here. And he just puts Bren right on his back. Montez Kelly, who really is kind of plays, he's like a backup nose guard behind Santana Hopper. But as I mentioned, they love rotating. They got full faith in 6-7 different guys, and they keep them fresh. They don't want those guys playing 70 to 75 snaps a game.
Dropping, throwing towards the end zone, almost picked off. Guess who? Tyreek Funderburg had his hands on it. He has 2 interceptions tonight.
Not only gets his hands on it, I think he'd tell you he could have intercepted this and should have. That's a catchable ball for him. And the first pick he had tonight, in my opinion, was harder than this one.
Third and long. Back to McAfee. Spun down by Nick Ross. And so here comes the field goal unit. This will be a 34-yard attempt for Michael Lance. Up and good. But Georgia Southern still down big time here. 8:12 to go. App State up. Rivalry in Boone, and App State in front with their sights set on the Sun Belt East title. They need a win here, and they need JMU to continue to take care of business against Coastal. That'll send them to the Sun Belt Championship game against Troy. Well, Tuesday, 2 featured ACC SEC challenges for men's college basketball on ESPN. Number 10 Miami taking on number 16 Kentucky at 7:30. And then the Clemson Tigers versus the number 17 Alabama Crimson Tide. You can get all the action on the app as well. Joey Aguilar tonight, 22 of 35, 4 touchdown passes. That ties his season high. He had 4 touchdown passes against Southern Miss.
Offside, the receiving team, number 1. That penalty's been declined. First down.
And so now App State wants to eat up as much of this 8 minutes and 12 seconds as they can. Mikel Haywood, his first carry. It's a nice one. He's still on his feet, getting a push from his team. To the 44.
Well, he runs over T.J. Smith right here, the safety, boom. He lowers his shoulder and puts Smith right into the ground. And the pile continues to move.
That's a 19-yard pickup. And patience taking that time as the clock ticks away. Aguilar rolling, completing the pass, back-to-back first downs. Deshaun Davis.
When Davis lines up on the left side, he just runs a crossing route. And he's just going to work his way across the field on a bootleg. And again, you could kind of call that a play-action pass because it's a bootleg, but it's the threat of a run that turns into a pass. And it's put these linebackers for Georgia Southern in conflict like we kind of thought it would.
Watching everything Joey Aguilar can do, what do you think's his biggest strength after seeing him in person?
I think he's got a really big, strong, live arm, and he believes in it. You know, I mean, you can tell how confident he is in his own arm, and sometimes that's a good thing, and it's always a good thing. You want a guy with a strong arm, but sometimes those gunslingers are too confident in it, but he's not that. Like, he hasn't really put the ball in harm's way at all tonight. He's got that strong arm. He's got the recognition. He's a great decision maker. And the Georgia Southern staff told us this is the best quarterback we've seen all year. And he's proven them right.
Started at Diablo Valley Community College, spent 2 seasons there, completed 64% of his passes. Made 6 appearances last season and then hit the transfer portal to come to App State. Back to Haywood. 2 yards short of the first down, but the clock ticks on. Jacob Ferguson with the tackle. I mean, talking to both coaching staffs too, I mean, there is no game bigger this year each season than these 2 teams playing each other. They have combined for 9 FCS titles. Those were brawls back in the day. And now both in the Sun Belt. I mean, it's continued. Last year's game, double overtime with Georgia Southern winning, and App State had that playing on repeat all week in the facility.
364 days a year. It's like any other great rivalry.
Timeout, Appalachian State. That's their first timeout of the second half. It's also be a media timeout.
5 minutes to go. We step aside. Third and 2 coming up for App State as they try to eat up this final 5 minutes to a Sun Belt East championship. .503 total yards of offense tonight for App State and counting.
32 for Mountaineers.
Haywood. Bouncing around, gets a push from his teammate, and that's enough for the first down.
I don't know how he got that.
Yeah, little bounce off of Thornton Gentry.
Like ping pong.
Yeah.
I mean, it just kept hitting it, bouncing it. I thought for sure that this was going to be a tackle at the line of scrimmage. I honestly thought he went down right there.
Well, Sean Clark, App State's head coach, had very vivid memories of this rivalry as a player. Freshman year, he said his first time they were playing at Southern, the fans just felt different. He felt like the fans were on top of him. He felt like every hit was a little bit harder. It just felt different. Then he said in 1996, App State, they had to score 4 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, and the App State fans stormed the Georgia Southern field.
That was kind of his first introduction to the rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah. A guy who played here, knows all about it. And, you know, what a year, a bounce back year to go from last year where he was the first coach, and he openly talks about it, first coach in App State history not to make a bowl game. And then to bounce it back, be 3-4 this year. And nobody thought that they would make it to the end of the year with a chance of playing a Sun Belt championship game.
Except maybe them. Haywood just bouncing around like a pinball into the end zone. McQuell Haywood, his 2nd touchdown of the year. 27-yard scamper.
Well, those frontside blocks lead to first downs. Backside blocks lead to touchdowns. And how about this backside block right here by Aguilar? Woo! And not much of a block, more of a get in the way, but it counts.
Three different players with a rushing touchdown for App State tonight.
Well, 4 touchdown passes for Joey Aguilar. What would you call this, an assist? 50 burger for App State tonight on rivalry week.
31,000 plus at the Rock today for the 3rd straight year. App State has broken the all-time Sun Belt and school record. Expecting a sellout today. The App State fans just keep coming back to the Rock. And why not? 3 minutes and 20 seconds away from a Sun Belt East title, with JMU up big on Coastal 56-14. Well, ESPN Plus is the home to 180 plus men's basketball games and over 180 women's basketball games. It's also the place to catch the NCAA men's soccer tournament as the 3rd round continues tonight at 10 Eastern following JMU versus Loyola Marymount. If you're a Sun Belt fan, be sure to go to ESPNplus.com to sign up. The Sun Belt on the football side is wild. They could have, I think it's the most, they could have 10 teams make a bowl game this year.
Yeah, it's
9 are for sure.
Yeah, it's any coach who has to coach in this conference. It's so tough. The parity because of the transfer portal. I mean, the East alone. Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Coastal Carolina, JMU,
Troy.
Yeah, I mean.
Again, App clinches the East with a win today and a Coastal loss, and Coastal down 56-14 late in the 4th quarter. Just a few minutes left there.
Arnold on the carry.
We knew coming into this game for sure that Troy would be playing as the Sun Belt West champion, and they'll get to host that conference championship game next Saturday. And there's some movement at the line.
Snap infraction, 57 offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. still third down.
You know, some of the things that maybe don't leap off immediately when you're looking deep into the stat sheet, yeah, the 4 turnovers definitely due by Georgia Southern. But they've also had 8 penalties compared to just 1 by App State today.
Yeah, and that's kind of been who App State's been all year. But the turnovers, where they happen, how they happen, they led the points. Those are just so detrimental.
Davis Brin to Caleb Hood to the 37.
Hey, you look back at the second quarter, and App State outscored Georgia Southern 24-3.
Yep.
I mean, there's their game right there.
And then they did not allow Georgia Southern to score in the third quarter. It's 4th down here. You let the clock go and then punt?
That's what I would do.
Timeout, Georgia Southern. That's their first timeout of the second half. So it'll be a 30-second timeout.
So let the play clock wind down to about 4 seconds and then call timeout.
Unless you think Sean Clark's going to score again.
Well, we mentioned Troy is the West champion. They've won 22 of their last 24 games, 9 straight. Their 2 losses to 2 ranked teams, K-State and a JMU team who was undefeated until last week.
Yeah, Coach Summerall's done a great job with that program since he's taken over, and really has built a very consistent program in the Sun Belt. And it's going to be a fun matchup. These 2 teams, App State and Troy, didn't play this year, but 2 of the best historical programs in this conference. 2 really good teams this year, both playing great football at the end of the season. And the cool part about the Sun Belt is that game will be played at Troy.
Yes.
Yeah, so
they earned the right to host. We know App State's not afraid of going on the road.
no.
Just casually did that to number 18, James Madison, and won last week. O.J. Arnold is stopped on 4th down. Jackson Green, the Boone, North Carolina native.
It kind of caps off what has been a totally dominant performance by this defense tonight. Scott Sloan, the defensive game plan coming in. You really got to tip your cap to how they responded after the first quarter, because they got punched in the mouth here early on. Georgia Southern went up 14-3. This place was pretty quiet. We were kind of wondering, like, oh man, are they sleepwalking after the JMU win last week? But
they woke up.
They woke up, and they are headed to the conference championship game.
They send in David Hernandez at quarterback for App State as the time ticks under a minute. Sean Clark talking about how great it is to coach his alma mater and how it's a tough job. But there is no doubt the passion that he has for App State. It's in his blood.
A lot of expectations at this program, a rich history of winning and winning at a high level. And it really bugged him all offseason, not getting to a bowl game this year. Had a little bit of a slow start, but even in their losses, you look at the 4 losses, Courtney, by combined 19 total points. 1-score games. They were right there the entire year. They stuck with it. He told his team, he told his coaching staff, keep believing and you'll be a champion. Even when he didn't think his players and staff really believed him, he believed. And they are Sun Belt East champions.
It'll be official once James Madison finishes off this win. There's 3 minutes to go in that game, but they're up 56-14 over Coastal. So App State should be the Sun Belt East champion and play Troy next week in that Sun Belt championship game. What a turnaround in this season. They do it with a backup quarterback. They do it starting 3 and 4.
Unbelievable. And one of the great guys in the profession. I mean, really enjoyed our time this week with him and being from here, this played here. Sean Clark, one of the easy guys to pull for in this profession.
Coach Clark's going to join us here in just a second. As App State does their part, they win 55-27. And Sean Clark is joining us now. Coach, there was a time this program was 3-4. You have won 5 in a row. How have you seen them, as you say, keep digging?
Well, we all stuck together. When things were tough, we were 3-4 to Old Dominion. We came back and really committed ourselves to each other, this program. But that's just what we do. We come here to win championships. We fight day in, day out. And now we're playing for the Sun Belt East Championship.
Well, Coach, I said to you yesterday, when you walk off the field tonight, you'll know whether you're playing in the Sun Belt Conference Championship game. And unless James Madison blows a 56-14 lead with 3 minutes left, you should be playing in a conference championship game. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, just I have a lot of pride in this program. I played football here outside of my family, right here with me right now. This program means the world to me. And again, we come here to win championships. We've done that. We won the Sun Belt East. Now we get a chance to go compete versus a very good Troy team next week. So we've earned the right to get there. And when nobody else believes in us, we stuck together. We believe in ourselves. We just kept digging.
Coach, talk about your performance of your quarterback tonight, Joey Aguilar. He breaks the single-season App State record for touchdown passes and wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the year. Talk about what he's meant to you this year.
Well, he's meant a lot to our program, just the way he's gotten better week in and week out. And then, you know, he was second team, came after the injury with Ryan Berger, came in, and his first pass was a touchdown pass. So I need all of that nation. I'll donate $10 so he's here next year.
Congratulations on the win, Coach Clark. Go celebrate with your family and your team.
Thank you. It's pizza next Thursday.
That's right.
Thank you.
Keep that lucky streak going. App State trailed 14-3 after the first quarter. Boy, did they respond. 55-27. They get a win. And thanks to JMU taking care of Coastal, they are going to that Sun Belt Championship game. They'll face Troy next weekend. What a night in Boone. A rivalry, and App State coming out on top big time.